I am here with Grace Passerotti, and we are obviously painted, both of us.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
This is us in the future.
This is our future selves.
Yeah, our future selves.
So stay tuned, right? Because you want to see what all this is about. We documented the process, and you'll also be seeing some final finished photos as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye. The eyeshadow, is that like a fancy brand?
It's super cheap. It's
That's
like
awesome.
the cheapest thing on the internet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's called BH Cosmetics, and they're just, that whole like 120 color palette is like $7 or something.
What? That's insane.
Yeah, and I just got one like a long time ago, and I've had the same one ever since, and like it's pretty good. They give you like an eyeshadow primer, which really helps them like stick on all day.
Oh, I've never even used that.
Yeah, it's just like basically like foundation or like sticky cream stuff that makes the eyeshadow stick to your eyes.
That makes a lot of sense. That's why I stopped wearing eyeshadow, is because I put it on and then it would just migrate into the creases of my eyelids.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, now I just look really old.
I just kind of like rub it in with my finger and it stays like that all day.
Oh.
And it's like really easy to wash off too. I don't have makeup remover or anything.
Yeah. Interesting. So your YouTube videos are awesome.
Oh, thank you. I've been slacking, like going out too much and hanging out with my friends, and just stay alone in my room and catch up.
Sequester yourself.
I think I might just do like 5 sketchbook tours in a row, like just.
Dude, that's what people want anyway.
I was gonna do that today.
Yeah.
I was gonna do.
Sorry.
No, I mean after you left.
Oh, okay.
Instead of
Okay.
You're not cutting into any important
Okay.
time.
Good. Yeah, well, that's what people want, man. That's
That's what you want?
I want those.
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
People is me.
People is me. No, but also, like, I don't know. Like,
the YouTube
analytics. Analytics, like the sketchbook tours.
They watch those videos longer, and they watch them more. Like, it gets more views and more time.
I was surprised when I asked people if they wanted real time versus time lapse. Like 99% of people said real time, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always done time lapse.
Yeah. Me too.
Huh. Because real time's like, man, that's a long video.
Right. That's like at least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But then that's like so many people reply that they prefer that because they can like draw to it and like hang out with it. You know?
Yeah.
And I realized that I do that too with like gaming videos or like food videos. I'm always looking for super long videos so I can just put it on and not think about what I want to watch, because music is sometimes nice, but I need like more mental stimulation.
Me too.
Like talking.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to find long art related videos that like have talking in them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice. And you see a lot more about the technique when it's real time too.
That's true. That's pretty cool.
How's that?
I love it. Oh, yay. Sweet. Also just a really interesting body art collaboration. You know, in a way.
Collaborating with Cayenne.
Yes.
She's supposed to be in town tomorrow.
Oh, really? From Seattle then?
Yeah, she got fired. Again.
What?
She gets fired from jobs all the time because of like really dumb employers.
That happens. That's
for being
unfortunate.
Like female and like knowing what you want. I think she like chewed out someone online for copying art.
Well,
which is understandable.
yes.
They're using that as the reason for her to get fired, but it was some other dumb thing, like something about her schedule wasn't like normal enough or something, kind of all over the place.
Well, if she was,
but she brings in lots
that's
of
what I was about to
clientele.
say. As long as she's successful, I don't see why that would be. That would probably be good to
She
have.
likes a tattoo on her own now, and I wish she could get her own studio. But then she said she visited like her favorite tattoo studio in town.
Uh-huh.
And the dude she was talking to gave her a list of like 9 places she could apply to in Seattle that would probably like
there
her
you
stuff.
go.
I was like, yeah, I wasn't scared for you when you said that.
No,
'Cause
not
you
at
always
all. I
felt-
don't know if you've seen, but I've been doing like little interviewee stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've only posted one really. I have a few.
I don't think I've seen it. I'll have
Okay.
to watch it.
It was just my friend Joanne Liccardo. We were going to go hang out and have lunch, but she brought me up to her new studio, and I was like, oh, well, I'm here. I have my camera. Like,
Yeah.
and it was really fun and kind of natural feeling, and kind of laid back, and then I posted it, and then she sold like 3 paintings from people looking at it and
That's
stuff,
good.
and then she brought in like one of her friends wants to do YouTube tutorials, so now we're working with her on filming her. So it was just like, oh, well, okay, that was an interesting random experiment that was fun, so I guess we'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I saw you did an interview with the Jacob, is it? Jacob for what's his project? The Art Life project, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get... Oh, that was a long time ago. I did another interview recently, but it's not done being edited, I think.
Okay.
I thought about that for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
So I think I was in here, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty easy. He just recorded it on his phone.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Well, Grace, how do you say your name? Is it Passerotti or Passerotti or
Passerotti.
Passerotti?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot of culture going on. My parents, like the Italian part of it it was like several generations back, so my parents didn't even pronounce it in an Italian way at all.
Oh.
It's Americanized.
It's Americanized. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like my last name.
Yeah.
It's spelled Repel, but we say Ripple.
Oh.
Ripple.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're like, we don't know where it's from or what. I don't know. But that's cool. Okay. And you primarily are, what do you identify as far as like what genre of art? I know you do a lot of interesting female figures and creatures and stuff.
When people ask, I usually say like surreal horror and erotica as like the stuff that I really like to do, or like illustration. That's what I do the most. I love comics. I just need to make more of them.
Yes,
like
please.
sequential storytelling. Yeah, I'm working on that. Like this upcoming month, I have to do some paintings for the show, but otherwise, I was gonna focus on deerskin.
What's your show?
It's at the Sprightly Bean, which is like a comic book / coffee shop,
Oh, cool.
and it's like those tall panels, and they're just gonna be lined up on the wall. So I was thinking about doing, like, making them all connect, but having a bunch of little scenes on each one.
Wow.
Like vague topics like life and death and rebirth, but like little scenes of like characters doing stuff, and then maybe take some good photographs of close-ups and make prints of like the individual scenes.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, and besides the painting, I was just gonna work on my comic. It was really important to me. Yeah.
That's what your tattoo is about, right? Deerskin right here.
Yeah.
That's great. I've been following along on your, for your, I think it was on, you've been posting some of them on the web, and it's so cool because it's so colorful, and I feel like a lot of the comics that I've been kind of looking at are not as detailed and arty, and so I really appreciate seeing all of that process in it as I'm reading the story.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
That's good.
Well, have you been doing art forevers, or what happened? How did this amazingness come about?
I've definitely always enjoyed drawing my entire life. Like, once I started, that's like what I love to do the most. I've been like freelancing full-time on and off for a few years, like since I just quit whatever job I was working and did only art. It's been maybe 3 years now.
Super inspiring to hear.
Yeah. I'm like pretty used to being broke all the time, or like barely scraping by with rent. And I'm like a minimalist, and I don't have like a partner or a pet to take care of. And I had food stamps for a long time. They recently got taken away.
No.
But I had very little responsibility, and I'm pretty good with money. Like, I don't spend too much, so that helped. Like, the only bills I had to pay was rent for like years. And a lot of people have different situations, like they have cars or babies. Or, so like for starting off like a small business, it's like a pretty good situation. I mean, I think anybody could do it, but that's like how I managed.
That makes sense.
On almost nothing. Yeah.
There's a freedom in that.
Yeah. I don't like having less to lose.
Yeah.
Makes me less scared.
Yeah.
To like.
Totally.
And I feel like I don't have any other option too. Like, I'm not a good employee at any kind of job that's like not exactly what I want. Yeah, I get depressed really quickly, and like dealing with customers, it just exhausts me.
It is
And
exhausting.
all I want to do is draw when I'm there, and they can really tell, you know. I can't put my heart in it if it feels like bullshit to me. Like, I have to do what I want to do. Like, living here in this room is like my first room that I've ever had like private space to myself, and like roommates that I've actually enjoyed. Like, I've lived in rooms a little bit, but it was usually with bad roommates, or like it was just in a single apartment with like whatever lover I had, and that was like a bad situation. And then before that, even when I was living like in college dorms, or I was living with my parents most of my life, I was not happy, and I felt like I had no privacy. So like, looking back, this place is like the first place I felt comfortable in.
Wow, that's great then.
Yeah.
You
So like
found
my
it.
work productivity has gone up like crazy, and I feel like I can do more because I have a safe place to, like, I can come here and be alone whenever I want, and I realized how incredibly important that was, because I'm a very independent person, and I need a lot of alone time. And being able to take care of myself and like be alone whenever I want has made a huge difference.
That's great. I mean, I think that's important, and it fits into stuff that I've thought about myself too. Like, I grew up in a really low income level situation, and my mom created kind of an unhealthy lifestyle for herself, but she was a blues musician, and so her ability to make art suffered because she was not in a healthy, happy, creative, inducive environment. And so as soon as I was able to, as like a functioning adult, I sought to create my ideal space around me, and that's when I started being able to do art and really dig into that. So I think it's important to have like a nest.
Yeah, the act of making art is incredibly comforting, and I do it constantly.
Yes, you do.
I wouldn't be able to like function emotionally without constantly pouring it out through paper, because I'm a very private person. I have a lot of difficulty talking about any kind of emotions that I have, so art has like been my outlet for like my entire life.
It's so interesting that you say, you know, you're private and you don't, I mean, you're just so outgoing on like your image online. You're just, and in person you're just this vibrant, inspiring person. And but I think half the time when you see people who are that way is because there's deeper things that allow like a richer distilled spirit, I don't know, to come forth in some ways. So hearing that, it makes a lot of sense that you know there's deep currents of energy and experience that are being poured into your art. No wonder people, you know, we're all so like drawn to it.
I definitely feel a little bit more balanced since I've gotten this room and spent so much time alone, and like been posting online for like, or I've had the Instagram account for like a year or two, and in the past year I think I've grown a lot as a person because of having that account, because I feel like I can post whatever I want.
Yeah, it seems that way.
It seems like I've recently accepted that just being exactly the way I am is fine.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I don't have to be ashamed. Like, it's kind of a new thing for me. I've been pretty timid, like, most of my life, like 99% of it. I feel like what people see now is me just beginning to, like, be comfortable with myself.
Wow.
And I have good friends right now to, like, support, or, like me for just who I am, which makes a big difference. Like, it's hard to do that alone. Like, with online stuff, I have trouble concreting things, like people, unless they're in front of me and I, like, hang out with them face to face. So I feel like I know that people see what I post, but it's kind of like it feels more like a playground, like imaginary land. Like, I can post whatever I want and no one can stop me because it's just, like, less of a big deal. But I didn't really realize, like, I didn't feel that connection of community with real people until I got an Instagram and, like, young people, because it's, like, a lot of teenage girls.
Yeah.
A lot of young people started messaging me saying that I was, like, inspiring, or I made them want to draw more, or I made them more comfortable with themselves. And it got kind of serious, like, in my mind, like I do actively aim to make my page a positive place, and, like, I do want to inspire people to make more stuff. Like, I keep that in mind. Like, I don't ever want to post, like, bad, nasty shit about it. That's, like, not in my nature anyway.
Yeah,
but
I couldn't see that anyway, yeah.
I feel like I can be a good example to people just by staying positive. And that's something important to learn, is that being positive isn't, like, candy coating everything.
No.
It's choosing to look at it in a positive way and accepting, like, bad things happen too. And a lot of people just ignore bad things or don't talk about them. It's, like, super taboo to talk about sexuality and mental illness and all this stuff that everyone really needs to talk about.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like, I have an issue, like, I've noticed personally, like, I shy away from sexuality and stuff like that. And I think it's because of experiences I had as a young girl. And so I'm just now starting to realize that art is probably, like, the best place for me to explore a lot of that. And so I'm finding myself attracted to some of the, like, online alt erotica artwork because it I don't know, it's just a way that I can connect better to that. And
there's so much, like, shame centered around.
Yeah.
Like, it goes really, it's deeply rooted in, like, everything around us. Or just trying to market someone for being beautiful. And, like, I've had lots of pretty lame sexual experiences that just made me not want to deal with anyone ever again. So recently I've, like, decided to be, what is the word? Not having sex anymore.
Oh, right.
Abstinent?
Yeah. For like the first time in my life, like, seriously decided that, to try to regain control of my body and really figure out what I want, if I do want anything. Maybe I don't, you know, and that's fine too. Which is a new thing, like.
That's really interesting to hear, because
that's super taboo, asexuality. It's even worse than, like, being bisexual or gay. It's like people really don't want to accept that maybe you just don't want to have sex, you know? That's rare. And that's something I'm really glad the internet is around for, because I didn't even know that was a thing until recently. And I'd been, like, ashamed and, like, trying to force myself to fit in with everyone else, like, my whole life pretty much, just feeling miserable and, like, doing more damage to myself than good.
Yeah.
So, like, the internet is a really great way to, like, connect with yourself and with other people, and especially in, like, the categories that are taboo, where you won't find most people saying out loud. People, like, have support groups for them suddenly.
Yeah.
And it's all anonymous, but it's kind of like you're showing your most, like, private feelings to all these people who share feelings, and you realize you're not alone. And it's, like, really easy to feel alone, I think, especially for people who do creative stuff and they need alone time. They have to be alone to focus on it.
Yeah.
It's really easy to feel lonely. Because I definitely feel like I can't, or like it's difficult for me to connect with people who don't also draw or paint all the time. I've like,
How do you live?
yeah,
How do you exist? Like, I don't understand it either.
people who aren't like passionate about
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to limit that to just drawing and painting.
No,
but, like,
there's all sorts of creative
passion.
pursuits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of blows my mind when people are like, "No, I'm not creative," because I feel like every human is.
Yeah. In anything, it could be cooking. It could be.
There's all different outlets, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting to have somebody else talk about asexuality, because that's how I felt as a kid after some of my experiences, and you know, growing up, you know, people were dating and stuff, and I just had absolutely no interest in anybody ever on that spectrum until I met Danny, which was just a weird fluke, I think. It still doesn't make sense, but it works.
That's good.
But
and it's like,
I still struggle with being sexual though, and
it's something that doesn't have to be a solid thing either. It changes, like people change all the time. I feel like it's very fluid, and you can like change your mind and feel different day to day, and you don't have to like be ashamed. And I feel like I definitely have bipolar, so my moods change pretty drastically every month, like with my hormones. And that was a huge problem with trying to have like a steady lover.
Okay, yeah.
Because when I met them, I usually like look to date when I'm manic and feeling sexual,
right.
which is only like 1 or 2 days out of the month. Like,
oh wow.
It's a very short period of time when I feel like that. And then like we decide to date or whatever, because they only see like the really happy side of me. And then I get depressed, and it happens often, like, so it happened pretty quickly, so it would like ruin all my relationships. None of them would last long. And I would get depressed and I wouldn't want to be touched, and they would always think that it was their fault or they did something wrong.
Okay, right.
And I would want to be like super alone, and like in my mind I can get so like non-sexual that I feel disgusted with sex, and like
I've been there.
Be angry when people touch me, or like even thinking about it.
It almost feels like a violation, like you're
even just like thinking about it, you're like, how could I ever want that?
Yeah.
And that's just like weird hormone chemical stuff, and it's just part of your body. Instead of like fighting against it, like, why do I feel like this? There must be something wrong. You just like go with it and be like, you just have to be honest and straightforward and be like, I feel like this right now.
Without having to take a selfie.
Yeah.
And
It's hard.
You know.
It's real hard.
Yeah.
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 I haven't been in nature in like forever. I'm really feeling
Oh,
the urge.
dude. Well, if you ever feel like it, there's Forest Park Trail really close to where I live, over kind of by the zoo and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we like to go
north. I went there kind of recently, I think. Just like on a whim. It was like a pretty good day. Maybe like a few weeks ago. And it felt nice. I was with 2 friends who were talking constantly. It was a little different than being alone.
Yeah.
I think I need to spend some alone time in nature.
There's a lot around you. I mean, that's what's great about Oregon, and I feel guilty a lot of the times for not taking advantage of it as much as I should be, because it's just
I've never been that much of an outdoorsy person, so it's something I have to force a little bit. I feel like when the weather's good, it'd be nice to bike around and just like spend some time in the park, you know.
Yeah, like I see you appreciating it online, you know. You find like the most brilliantly colored creatures out there, you know, little plants and things.
I've been really into plants more recently. I've been like thinking about them and noticing them all the time. I want to like make a series of paintings on them.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Everything is so like alive all over the place and like very beautiful, and it's nice to like slow down and look at all the things, you know?
Yeah, totally. My favorite thing is just to sit on my patio garden with all my silly little plant buddies with my cat and just drink tea, and
it sounds really nice.
But there's only like a few months that you can actually do that, because it's so cold and wet, and then it's mostly weekends, you know, when I'm not working, I can take the time and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, I'm gonna go for this side. Okay. Yeah, so I brought my first rose bush. So yeah, man, that happened.
Yeah!
And now we are our present selves.
Ta-da!
And thank you so much for watching. No. Grace has a wonderful, amazing channel that you must watch.
My YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta do it right now. What do you do?
I do tutorials and sketchbook tours and makeup videos. A bunch of stuff, actually.
Amazingness.
Yeah, just
all the
starting
time.
to get going on it. Pretty excited.
Yeah.
You can look me up, Grace Passerotti, Passerotti. That's my username everywhere. It's just my name, so.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it right now.
I had a great time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I gave you
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. And thank you. And
Thank you.
And good night.
Good night.
Good night.